Boxing truth here. Anthony Joshua's first defense is already set. Just after recently dispatching of Charles Martin, becoming the IBF champ, he's now coming back. Already a quick turnaround in his return for June 25th at the O2 Arena. His first defense will be against Dominic Breazeale, an American, obviously, as Joshua is going to be making a debut on a premium network for the United States. There's still negotiations ongoing for which network, but most likely it will be with Showtime, as Dominic Breazeale is the opponent. He's an American, a former football player, a 2012 Olympian. He's 6'7", he's big dude, strong. Comes to fight, he's 17 wins, 15 knockouts, rated in the top 15 of the IBF rankings. And surprisingly, it's another Al Haymon advised fighter, another Al Haymon heavyweight, the second straight for Joshua. And I guess Al Haymon is feeding another heavyweight of his to Anthony Joshua, because Joshua will be a heavy favorite. Breazeale, he's not as fast as Joshua. He's a little slow. He's very hittable, and just not the same athlete compared to Joshua. Joshua's the physical specimen, much better technique, much better boxer. Breazeale just doesn't have that physique. Doesn't have, he looks fat, but he's a strong guy. He's stepped up his last few fights. he's been through some adversity, unlike compared to Charles Martin, because Breazeale did show something his last fight against Amir Mansour. Mansour's up there in age, but he's a strong guy who comes to fight. He's no joke either. The guy will come take your head off if you're not prepared. And Breazeale almost got stopped by this dude Mansour, who's not easy work at all. I mean, he's a tough guy, and he comes to fight. And Breazeale almost got knocked out in this fight, but he got up, bit on his mouthpiece, was able to land some big shots, come through the adversity, and he was able to get Mansour to retire on his stool and not come out for the 6th round after suffering an injury through his mouth. Some people will say he lost to Fred Cassie. Close fight, tough fight. Probably got out-countered in that fight. Close fight. He got the decision. Not by those scores. Most people saw it as a very close or even a clear decision win by Fred Cassie, but Dominic Breazeale got the decision. So it's a little surprising. Al Haymon is rolling the dice with another young heavyweight of his. And will Dominic Breazeale put up a much better fight compared to Charles Martin? I believe he can. I think he'll create better moments than what Martin had. Martin didn't have any moments. Didn't even land a punch. I think Breazeale could at least make it interesting for a round or two, a few rounds even, because he will come to fight, but it's a big stage. He's gonna go to the UK, big crowd, sold out crowd, everybody against him in a hostile arena, away from home, on the road as a challenger, only 17 fights, inexperienced, never fought in that type of environment before as a professional. Will he fold? Will he cave under the bright lights? Will he let the event get the best of him? Will he let his nerves get the best of him? But honestly, I actually preferred Dominic Breazeale over the other options considered for Anthony Joshua. I didn't like Johan Duhaupas as an opponent for his first defense. I don't need to see Joshua dispatch Deontay Wilder leftovers or Frenchmen who are going to come to lay down. Duhaupas, Eric Molina, no thanks. No need to see him take on Deontay Wilder leftovers. Molina coming off a win over Adamak, a shot faded and not an natural heavyweight in Adamak, so no thanks. And the other top guys the guys in the top 5 of the IBF ratings are tied up. Most of them have fights lined up, so he couldn't fight any of those guys. It would have been better fights, Parker, especially Takam. So he was limited to the bottom half of the rankings, and Dominic Breazeale is the best opponent in terms of an action fight. Also, he's American. He's an Al Haymon client, so most likely Joshua's going to be signing a deal with Showtime to air the fight. But I really don't mind this fight. Stylistically, it will be a very good action fight. Joshua is definitely going to be the heavy favorite. Breazeale, maybe he can put up a better fight, but just not as skilled, not as athletic, not as fast, not as explosive as Anthony Joshua. It will be another showcase, perhaps another crushing knockout for Anthony Joshua, but there is some danger. Breazeale has power. He's a big dude, 6'7", taller, but just the speed there's no comparison in terms of speed and athleticism and agility. But I don't mind this fight. Tyson Fury hating on it, calling Joshua a champion on training wheels, taking on a bum for his first defense. This was the best option, considering the other opponents being considered. He's a young cat, undefeated, 30 years old, coming through adversity his last fight. Maybe he could make it interesting. Maybe he will put up a much better fight. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this fight. I think it'll be a good fight for Joshua, a good showcase, and another impressive knockout performance. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.